welcome to Arthur's Engage Reviews. This is number 1. So I thought we would start off with a popular manufacturer and a popular engine. So here we have it. 372211. It's a class 3F Jinty, 473 and 94. She's in BR black with the early emblem. So there's the box. Typical Graham Farish box. Well, take away the outer sleeve. Which, is that going to last the life of the engine? I doubt it. Okay, we have a nice sturdy plastic box within. Off comes the top, and herein we now have another cover. Okay, we finally get down to the engine itself, which is wrapped in this nice little plastic sheet so it can be taken out and put back in the box with minimum amount of fingers on, which I think is a very good idea. There's the other half of the plastic insert, and then to complete everything we have a sheet which details how to remove the body top for DCC insert, bit about running in, exploded diagram, very useful. A bit about the Bachmann Collectors Club, warranty request service, maintenance, etc. So there's your warranty as well, and it's a Bachmann warranty because Bachmann of course owns Graham Farish, and if you've bought Bachmann products you would know that this box setup is very standard to their products. So let's get these out of the way and have a look at the main event. So here we have the Jinty. Usual couplers on the front and back. She's an 060 shunting engine of very obvious Midland Railway design. The power classification of these locomotives was 3F, which actually means they're quite strong, meaty locomotives. I was watching one recently at the Great Central Railway, a 12 inch to the foot gauge one, on a very wet and greasy rail day where most locomotives, or most steam engines, were having some difficulties getting their train away. Not so the Jinty. She seemed very sure-footed all the time. I don't know whether that was down to the skill of the driver, but I also fancy it's probably down to a locomotive that was very well balanced and man enough for the job. And what sort of jobs would they have been used for? Well, they were maids of all work. Local passenger, pick-up freight, shunting, pilot duties, banking duties, you name it, the Jinty could do it. And of course it could do it in reverse, or it could do it going forwards. So there we have it, a very useful addition to any model railway, should you need one. have to say that this is a beautifully detailed model. Don't know if you can see inside. There's not much in the cab, but the rear spectacle plates with the bars across them have been modelled very finely in my estimation. The model comes with, he said, looking vaguely around for it, yes, here we are, we have the little detailing pack. The detailing pack does include dummy couplings, what looks like bar of some sort, and vacuum pipes. Vacuum pipes added to this loco would do, I think, quite a bit for it. Add would some very gentle weathering. The weathering's a subject I'll come back to probably too many times. Anyway, enough waffle from me. This is a brand new engine, so let's put it on the test track and see how she performs. Okay folks, here we are in the shed with the test track and the Jinty. I haven't run it before, this literally just plonked it down on the rails, so we're going to see how she runs straight out of the box. The track hasn't been cleaned in particular, so it's the sort of situation you might get in the average family home, I suppose. But she does rather sit nicely on the rails, don't you think? Anyway, let's see if it'll go. Okay, the controller in use, by the way, is a Gauge Master Combi. She's just up to about 30 or a third of the controller in use. Quite a nice slow speed. And here she comes round. And we'll up the revs a bit. Bring it to a stop and see how she gets on forward. Again, she's about 35 on the scale on this controller, which goes up to 100, so that gives you some idea. But it's certainly a smooth locomotive. As she comes into view, will vary. Yeah, she's picking it up nicely. Obviously it would be unfair to try to too much of a crawl with the wheelbase and the points that we have. I think that gives you a fair idea of how she's going to operate. So now then, the next thing is, of course, is haulage capacity. So let's bring her round and give her a bit of work to do. Right, what we have here is one Lima coach, an old Lima coach, probably equivalent nowadays of 2 Farish coaches. or the equivalent of 3 or 4 easy running goods wagons. Again, it seems quite happy with that. Up the speed just a little bit. Jumping just a little bit more as she goes over those dead frogs. Because of the weight going through the coupling. So let's bring it to a halt. Right, we're now up the load to 3 lemurs. So this will be the equivalent of a good rake of goods wagons to be shunted, or a complete passenger train for a locomotive of this size. Here we go. Controls on a third, we'll up the ante. And what I will do at the end of this session and video is to add a few still photographs of this locomotive in various positions on this board to give you an idea of what she might look like on your, better than mine hopefully, model railway. Anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to add a few more wagons, or coaches I should say, just to complete the... Right folks, we've now got to the bit that might hurt, the final weighty test. No less than 7 lemur Mark 1 bogie coaches for our little Jinty to play with. So let's see how we go. The combi says we're on 30, going round the corner, and hardly any drop in speed at all. That's struggling a bit now, as you'd expect, and we're starting to slip, so we'll just give it a bit more. Yeah, and we don't like that at all. There's a lot of drag there, with very small curves, and that's not really a fair test. A little bit of reverse, and everything's okay again. Okay, so to conclude this review of the Graham Farish Jinty, let's put a few numbers to our summary. So what do we think of this loco? Well, in appearance, I'll give it at least 90 out of 100 or 9 out of 10, whichever way you look at it. If we're being super critical, if you look at the front of the loco, you will see two items. The chimney is in two pieces, and of course that's not prototypical. And the front handrail, from certain angles, does change the appearance of the front of the engine considerably, and may even impinge on the number plate, but we're being very picky here. Anyway, now let's go to performance, and again I think an unequivocal 90 out of 100 or 9 out of 10 for this particular loco, and it would certainly do very well on any very reasonable track. The next object, cost. Now, Farish, as you may have gathered, very recently put up their prices, and they are at the top end of the N-gauge market. So, and this locomotive, could it be cheaper? I don't know. Let's give it an 8 out of 10 for that. And then finally, or not quite finally, how about longevity and spares? And we're looking to the future here. How long is this motor going to last? Will spare motors be available? Well, we don't know. Let's give them 85 out of 100 for that. And it's a bit of the unknown. Bonus marks? Well, none on this occasion because it's the first one. Maybe it deserves a few. I don't know. So if we add all those numbers up and divide by 4, we get a score of 86.5 out of 100, which I think is pretty good. Anyway, thanks for watching this rather prolonged review. Please tell your friends that there will be more, and any feedback you have, particularly about the bad light in the shed. And yes, I will get closer to the locomotives next time I video, I'm sure. My next review, well, it won't be a Farish. And there are plenty of locos in the stud to review for you. So goodbye for now.